Alright, so continuing where we left off, we had started our second video, or at least continue from where we left off from the last one, and we read about the first paragraph. Then I got a call from my buddy Joe, so we're just gonna go ahead and reread all that and start over again with this video. But I just want to talk a little bit about friends. It's very, very good to have friends, especially when you could have someone there that you could talk to. When you're having a not so great of a day, because he called me. I guess we had a pretty challenging morning, and we were resolving what was going on and everything like that, and what we could do to make it better. It's really great to have somebody there who's going to help you to do that, because two minds that come together could always do more than just what one mind can do by itself. I don't know if you were with us when we were reading the series of the Science of Being series by Wallace D. Wattles. But while I was sharing the Science of Being Great with you, I would mention him a few times, because that's when we started really hanging out and really working on building our own mastermind group. And that's what we've done with ourselves. Like, we get together, we mastermind, we talk about the books we read, we talk about our life and what we're going through, and that's a lot of fun. Not only that, but that's support. We need that support just as human beings. You need that support in your life. You need that support system. It's an emotional support, knowing that somebody's there for you emotionally really has the power to make you feel just like a human being, like you could actually connect with somebody on that level. And it's very interesting, because he was the one I was with when I was telling you about when we started this book about that girl, and he was like, wow, like I could really feel how you're moved emotionally by this chick. Like, he was telling me that night. I was like, yeah, dude, there's just something about her that just seems really cool. Like, she reads books too. She's into fitness too. She took on all my old clients. We talk about yoga sometimes. Like, we talk a little bit, throughout this entire time. But aside from all that, I don't even want to talk about any of that. All that was back in the past. Well, 2 days ago, or 2 days ago. But even so, that was a long time ago. We need to keep moving forward, keep thinking, and what they say, try to keep your mind focused in the now, because now is the only time there is. Yesterday is already done. It's today's a completely new board. That's how we need to look at it, and that's how we need to get up every day and act. This is a new day. New opportunities are coming my way. I'm going to meet new people today. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do that today. Yes, I'm still going to do those things that Corey does, that even makes me, that fulfills me internally. But at the same time, I'm going to look for, I don't want to say something new, but yes, at the same time, be open to something new. And yeah, I just wanted to share all that with you guys really quick before we even got started with this, because I just had a conversation with him about that right now, and figuring out really how we could keep ourselves moving in the directions that we want to go. Like me making these videos, it's moving me in the direction that I ultimately want to go. Regardless if I have millions of people viewing this, or I have thousands of people looking at this and asking me questions and this and whatnot. Remember, it's a process. It takes many, many, many years to become that person you need to become for others. Because as we get older and we get more responsible, we're going to have people coming to us for guidance, especially those that are younger, and even those that are older, and like with health and fitness. I'm the fitness guru, when it comes to training. I'm the trainer. So people are going to come to me for information about training. Whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that you decide to do, that is your profession, that is your craft. People will go to you to figure out how to get it done. That's your power. I feel legitimately this is something that's helping me become something much greater in my life. And you guys are here, you get to watch that process, because 5, 6, 7 years from now, who knows where or who I'm going to be. you know, just from this process. And that also brings me back to like about a year, close to a year and a half ago now, when I was working security. I had met this guy, and he was asking me like my hobbies and what I like to do. So I love to write a lot. I love to read. You know, I read tons. And this was already a year and a half ago, and I've already been making these videos for a little over a year now. You know, and he was telling me like, everything you're doing right now, just keep doing it. You know, 4, 5, 6 years from now, see where it takes you. You know, literally stop and see the type of person you become. You know, especially when you just have people telling you like you're great, man. You know, you might not always see it because it's who you are. You know, but when you actually have people stopping and telling you like, yo, like everything you're doing right now, just keep doing it. You know, that's how you know that you're on the right track. Even if you appear to be the only person that's on that track, you know, especially in your immediate environment around you. No, I even talked to him about things like that, and he wants to help me make some videos and whatnot. He has a way better camera than I do. I'm still using this old style digital camera. But remember how we were saying before, it doesn't matter what you have. You know, if there's something you want to do, you need to just go out there and do it. You know, take what you have now and run with it. You know, because along the way, as you get better, you start getting the things that you need to help you along the way. You know, it's preparing you. Okay, once I finally do get that extremely good camera and start recording some extremely good videos, I'm going to be that much better at it in what I'm explaining, the information that I'm going over, than I would have been if I waited till I got that nice camera before I got started. Remember, less perfection, more authenticity. Just be you, you know, and work with whatever it is that you have now. With all that being said, you guys, let's continue where we were. So, chakras. Chakras send energy out from the core of the body, and they assimilate energy from outside that enters the core. In this way, once again, I define a chakra as an organized center for the reception, assimilation, and transmission of life's energy. What we generate determines much of what we receive, and in this way it behooves us to work on our chakras and clean up outdated, dysfunctional, or negative programming that may be getting in our way. The content of the chakras is formed largely by repeated patterns from our actions in day-to-day life, which would be our habitual patterns. Remember, those things that we subconsciously do day to day. As we are always the center point of these actions, remember, we repeat, we become, you know, the things we continuously do. You know, like I just mentioned earlier, while I go out doing the day, which Corey does throughout his day, and then figuring out what new he can add to whatever it is that he does. You know, being open to new opportunities and new things. Repeated movements and habits create fields in the world around us. Remember how we were learning about the subconscious mind by Charles F. Hannell, you know, in every other book that we've been reading. You know, it's the subconscious mind that we need to work with, because it is our seat of habit. And whatever we do habitually, that will in turn affect our environment, because nature is plastic to the individual. Okay, nature reflects and responds to the individual. That is how we create our realities, because whatever it is that we do, you know, whatever thoughts we think, whatever emotions we have, whatever actions we take, reflect back towards us. From nature reflects that back towards us. That's why you should never be scared to move in the directions that you want to go, because remember, it takes longer to manifest an ox than it would to take wheatgrass. You know, if you're trying to create something big for yourself, it's going to take time. You know, 5, 6, 7 years time. That's how long it can take. You know, but doing it every single day. Because I personally have been reading these for the last year. You know, and it wasn't until recently that I finally got a book request for somebody to read it to me, or for somebody to read them a book. You know, it took an entire year for that to happen. You know, if I gave up after the first book I read, or the second book I read, you know, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't even be this person I am today, because I would have just gone a totally different direction. It's very, very interesting. Yes, it's so many key elements that come into play just by, you know, how we're creating thought by thought, feeling by feeling, actions by actions. Every action we take, like me thinking about moving this live rock and deciding to take actions of moving this live rock. I completely changed this reality, as to where if I never decided to touch that live rock, it would have never have moved. That's how specific, that's how deep it gets into it, that's how detailed life is. Repeated movements and habits create fields in the world around us. Programming from our parents and culture, our physical body shape, situations we are born into, and information from previous lives are also important factors. These patterns can often be seen by clairvoyants when viewing the chakras. Their interpretations give us valuable insight into our behavior. Like an astrological chart, they show us tendencies of our personality. Remember, we were just reading about tendencies from Charles F. Handel, the Master Key System, in section 22, the one we just read this morning. Every thought we think creates a tendency upon the subconscious, and those thoughts of which we habitually think creates that pattern within the subconscious, and then the subconscious goes on to wave that pattern to create it into our environments, and that environment will reflect that towards us. And then we will in turn be surrounded by our own thoughts made into material things, because we're creating that tendency within ourselves. Show us tendencies of the personality, but are not by any means unchangeable. Knowing our tendencies tell us what to watch out for and what to enhance. Through involvement with the outside world, patterns within the chakras seem to perpetuate themselves, hence the idea of karma. And what is karma? Remember, karma is the Hindu term for cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. You do this thing, and then this is going to happen, okay? We reap what we sow. Another saying for karma. Patterns formed through action, or the laws of cause and effect. That's what karma is. Patterns formed through actions, or the laws of cause and effect. You do this thing, and then this will happen in turn. Thus it is common to become trapped in any one of these patterns. This is called being, quote, stuck, end quote, in a chakra. Wow. We are caught up in a cycle that keeps us at a particular level. This could be a relationship, a job, a habit, but most often simply a way of thinking. And that's very, very interesting how we just read that part, because even me, when it comes to relationships wise, my other buddy Omar, we mastermind too. He's been one of my best friends for 12, almost 13 years now. We've been neighbors for the longest time. We were talking about women yesterday, because we were talking about that girl, and he was just saying, it trips me out too, because just, things that are happening with women nowadays. Yes, women, they're becoming more powerful beings, because they're exercising more of the power of choice, and then the feminine movements, and women empowering women, and all this is affecting men a lot, because even I firmly believe that men are the way they are nowadays, or men are the way they are in general, a big part of because of women. Yes, and vice versa with that too. But, just how he was explaining how things are with women, and it made sense from his perspective. And even my buddy Joe was telling me about documentaries on feminine movements and just how women are becoming nowadays, and it's very, very different for guys, because it was weird. He was saying like it doesn't really seem like women want especially just the people around my age, the younger girls and stuff. They don't want to be number 3 or number 4. They want to be number 88 and with the guy who has experience with things. Me personally, I think that's total BS, because what happens to that guy who's actually still about all of that stuff and You know, not just going out kissing up on just some random chick or just flirting with some random girls. You know, and me personally, that's how I am. I've only experienced that twice in my life. You know, I've only had 2 girlfriends. I've only kissed 2 girls. I've only ever gotten at that level with 2 girls. And you know, I guess that's not exactly too attractive nowadays anymore. You know, all they say is, oh wow, that's rare, you know, and then that's it. Be like, yeah, it really is, you know. And I don't know, it's just, it's tough. It's tough out there. And even when I talk to older people about it, even they say it too, like it seems a lot harder for younger people nowadays to actually get into a relationship, because as soon as something happens, immediately they just drop it off and go with somebody else. You know, and how true has I've found that to be. You know, they don't seem to want to work on it nowadays anymore as to where they did back then, because my grandparents have been together for over 70 years now. They've been married since my grandma was 15, 16, you know, like how amazing is that, and how cool is that? You know, that's something that I want. I don't want some chick that's, you know, is with me for my looks, or is with me for my money, or is with me for the things I have. You know, I want someone who wants to grow with me and who will just love me for who I am, you know, just like everybody else. Everybody wants that, you know, but it's like they don't act as if that is what they want. You know, it's yeah, go figure. That's you know, that's what I've been seeing. That's what I've experienced from my current level of understanding when it comes to that particular subject. And you know, all that being said, you guys, it's just, if you're single, you know, I know it's hard, and just focus on you. You know, I guess that's one of my big things too, why I haven't really gone out looking for it so much, because I'm working on me. You know, I'm working on me. You never want to settle for less, especially when it comes to a partner in life. You know, because that's who you're gonna have your kids with. That's what you're gonna be spending your time with. You know, and it's worth the wait. And don't just jump the gun into something just because you think somebody's pretty, or they engage in the same activities as you. You know, it's hard. It's hard. With all that being said, let's go and continue where we were left off. We have a little bit more to go through, and still have about 8 pages left on this. So let's continue. This could be a relationship, a job, a habit, but most often simply a way of thinking. Being stuck can be a function of either overemphasis or underdevelopment of a chakra. The object of our work is to clean the chakras of old, non-beneficial patterns so that their self-perpetuating actions have a positive influence, and our life energy can continue to expand to higher planes. You know, just like those things that you engage in throughout your day-to-day life, you know, that hold you back from moving farther and farther, or being the best you can be at any specific thing. You know, likewise with here, you know, until we clean out those negative energies within ourselves, we're not going to be able to make ourselves open to receiving the better parts of energies, or to raise our vibrational levels, because we're keeping ourselves stuck or staying at that level of consciousness. You know, we should be continuously trying to expand, you know, growing as a soul. Chakras are associated with 7 basic levels of consciousness. As we experience an opening of a chakra, we also experience a deeper understanding of the state of consciousness associated with that level. These states can be summarized with the following keywords: through Through it must be remembered that these words are a gross oversimplification of the complexity of each level. And it says, see Table of Correspondences, pages 42 and 43, and we'll go over that once we get there. The chapters that follow will explain each chakra more fully. Their associated elements are given because the elements are of such crucial significance to understanding the quality of the chakra. So, Chakra 1, located at the base of the spine, is associated with survival. Its element is earth. Now remember, its element is earth, Chakra 1, Muladhara, grounding us to the physical being. And the element being the earth, the physical portion of who we are. And it's associated with survival. Okay, remember how the endocrine, or the adrenal glands, were associated with the first chakra. Okay, so when we're in the state of we feel we need to survive over something, you know, our adrenal glands are released in our bloodstream, and then that travels along through the body, okay, being absorbed by all of your cells, okay. And these adrenaline glands open up your bloodstream, or your blood vessels. They make your heart pump quicker, so you could have more energy coursing through your body, so you could run from whatever it is you need to run to, or so you could jump as far as you need to jump, you know, things as such. Okay, and then Chakra 2 is located at the lower abdomen, is associated with emotions and sexuality. Its element is water. Okay, and we've learned that Chakra 2, emotions and sexuality, okay, our creativity and also our creative center, you know, because creating a baby, you know, is a sexual experience, you know, and that not only involves a lot, but it has lots of emotions connected to it. At least it should anyway, because if you're not having an emotional connection while you're having that specific type of experience, then me personally, I would say it's you know, it's nothing special. All it is trying to feel pleasurable.